All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And today is October the 13th of 2024. This actually is being recorded on the 12th, but it's not going to be released until the 13th, okay? That's a Sunday. So Saturday, October the 12th, BYU played football, and we're going to be talking about that coming up right after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Justin. I am Justin, and yes, I am doing some BYU reviews, recaps, whatever you want to say about the BYU football season. All right, so on Saturday, October the 12th, BYU was taking on Arizona. Okay, so Arizona, they came into Utah and they beat the Utes up at Rice Eccles, but they've had a rough time with the other Big 12 schools like Texas Tech and Kansas State. And so, will the game be good today between Arizona and BYU? Will the offense show up? Will the defense stop the short pass game? So let's find out. But before we go any further, okay, BYU was scheduled to play this at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and if you want to, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. We can go Hawaii, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so BYU has struggled in the past few years with day games. Okay, so there was a video that I'll link down here in the description of the curse of BYU. It's kind of an interesting, but it is kind of true. BYU has struggled during the day. Yes, 2 weeks ago, we went into Baylor and we beat Baylor during the day. Yes, it was a 10 a.m. start time, Mountain Standard Time. And so, yeah, it was an early game. BYU went in and, yeah, they beat Baylor because BYU usually struggles during the day games. So anyway, this is a day game. So will BYU struggle? And to top it all off, the game is on Fox. And so that means that the noon kickoff from Fox was here in Provo, Utah. And did I go to it? No, I did not, because I was up most of the night talking with the throne, you know? Not having a very good night. Something I ate yesterday or something affected me, and I was not doing too good all day today. But that's beside the point, okay? So I was hoping to go over there, check it out, check the enthusiasm of the BYU fans and stuff like that. But I did not make it. I know, man. I recovered BYU football, and I can't even make it over to Provo to film it. But I think I'd rather be home. And yeah, in case I had to throw up or, yeah. So we'll just leave it at that, okay? All right, so anyway, that was here at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and Cosmo was a major part of this. I mean, he parachuted in, he jumped over 4 guys, he ran and jumped through a ring of fire. I mean, yeah, he was just a good part of the show. I mean, one of the hosts really likes Cosmo because of the things he does. He even did the push-ups again on the tables, you know. That was kind of cool. You know, I just saw clips and stuff of that. But I need to cover things better for BYU. I know. All right, but anyway, okay? So, the game started at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. BYU got the ball first. They drove down the field, but yet BYU could not convert. And so they turned it over in downs. And you know what? Arizona came down and scored 7 points, just like that. Okay? And I was thinking, crap, Arizona's just going to wreck us like they did the Utes. So yeah, that was the first quarter. Arizona was 7, BYU was 0, okay? Arizona was holding BYU. So the offense was not producing much, okay? And then it was like, what the heck is going on? All right? But the BYU defense was holding Arizona only to 7 points. Okay, so the second quarter. So BYU took the ball down, and Jake Retzloff, I always say that name wrong, threw a deep ball to Kingston and scored a touchdown. Woohoo! You know, we scored a touchdown. And so that made it 7-7. Arizona was driving down the field. Okay, and the quarterback, Fita, he threw an interception on the BYU 1-yard line. All right, so that's the first interception of the game for BYU. And they're like, oh. So you know what happened? BYU drove 99 yards. And then finally, they scored a touchdown. But this touchdown went like this. Jake got the ball. He threw it over to Kingston. Kingston threw it across the field to none other than LJ Martin. And he caught it for a touchdown. Woo! So now BYU is 14-7. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, BYU showing up. They're doing some good stuff. All right, and so that is how the second quarter would end. It would just end, you know, BYU 14-7, you know, back and forth punts, turnover and downs and stuff like that. So BYU goes into halftime with the lead, 14-7. All right, so Arizona gets the ball first. The first play of the second half, Arizona drops back and it's intercepted. Yeah, 4 seconds into the second half, third quarter, it's intercepted. They return it for about 3 yards. Boom. And then BYU gets the ball. So, yeah, Jake threw the ball to Chase Roberts for a touchdown. So 8 seconds into the third quarter, BYU was up 21-7. We're like, oh my gosh, this is like awesome. Okay, so 21 unanswered points by BYU. And so it goes back and forth. And then BYU goes back down the field and kicks a field goal. So that makes it 24-7. Arizona finally kicked the field goal. So 24-10. All right, so that's okay. BYU kicked another field goal, 27-10. And then Arizona kicked the field goal, so 27-13. All right, so BYU's defense is doing pretty good. After the Arizona field goal in the fourth quarter, BYU answered. LJ Martin ran in for 1-yard touchdown, put in the Cougars at 34-13. Yeah, of course, all the extra points were made, okay? So, yeah. So 34-13. Okay, so that was, you know, it was getting, you know, BYU was getting up there. Arizona went down and they scored a touchdown. Okay, so it made it 34-19. Okay, so yeah, Arizona's within 2 scores. You know, it's a 2-score game. If they make 2 extra points and stuff like that. They missed, so they did go for 2 points, and they missed it. So that's why it's 19 instead of 20. They missed the 2-point conversion to put them at 21. So, yeah. So they were at 19, okay? So all BYU had to do was make a few first downs and the game would be over. So Arizona does an onside kick. Lassiter picks it up. All BYU had to do was just hold on to the ball and get some first downs. You know what happened? BYU fumbled it. BYU fumbled the ball. Yes, BYU fumbled the ball. Arizona recovered, and BYU's defense held them. Okay, and so they turned it over on downs. They went for it on fourth down, and they didn't convert. All right, so BYU took the ball over, but they couldn't do diddly squat. Okay, they couldn't move the ball or anything like that, so they had to punt the ball. So BYU punted the ball, and they downed it on the 1-yard line. So Arizona had to go 99 yards for a score, and the time is running down. All right, so they're backed up in the end zone. BYU almost gets the safety a couple times, and so the quarterback, Fita, he threw it out on the fourth down. They went for it with about 1:12 left. And he threw it out, and what happened? It was intercepted for a pick 6. So yes, BYU intercepted it, went down. like 20 yards, like 13, 15 yards, something like that, for the touchdown, making it 41-19. And that's how the game ended. So overall, Arizona had 3 interceptions. BYU threw 0 interceptions. They both had a fumble lost. Yes, Arizona lost the fumble, but it didn't really turn into much. So, yeah, BYU, they were doing pretty good, okay? So, the curse of the vampire Cougars or something like that, that's what it's called. So, BYU so far have won 2 day games in a row. Baylor and now Arizona. All right, so this was a really super good game. It was kind of a pivotal moment, I guess. People were thinking that Arizona, one person on game day thought Arizona would win. Everybody else figured BYU would win, and BYU did come out the winner. So this was a good showing here for the Big 12. Okay, so yeah, BYU's beaten Kansas State, Baylor, and now Arizona. And now they are 6-0. Okay, so I was going to this game. I was all set to go and everything like that. But with me being sick, I could not go, and so I had to watch it from the comfort of my own house. So that would have been a good game to go to, with all those turnovers and the way the BYU defense. Okay, so the BYU defense didn't really step up and control the game. They still have the problem of the short pass. They give them too much cushion, I think. You know, I'm just a spectator, okay? This is just my opinion. But they give the receivers a lot of cushion. Yes, Arizona did beat them on a couple deep passes, which is, frustrating. But the rushing game defense was there, but it wasn't there. But they did good, okay? They did good. So just a sec. Okay, so the total yards for Arizona were 389. And the rushing yards were 114. And the passing yards was 275. So yeah, that 275 yards were mostly made on short passes that ran for a long way. BYU's defense have got to get those taken care of. Don't give them cushion. I know you don't want to be beat down the field, but the short passes are going to catch up. Okay? And so, now, BYU was only penalized 3 times for 39 yards, and Arizona 8 times for 51 yards. The time of possession, Arizona had it for 32 minutes and 39 seconds, and BYU had it for 27 minutes and 21 seconds. Oh, and the total plays of the game, 84 on Arizona and only 60 on BYU. So, yeah, so BYU right now is 3-0 in conference, okay? Iowa State, they were beaten up on West Virginia when I last saw it, and they are undefeated, and Texas Tech, I think, has a bye week this week. And so there are the undefeated teams left in the Big 12. All right, and so where does that leave BYU? So the standings come out tomorrow. Most likely they'll be either 1 or 2. Since Texas Tech didn't play this week, they'll drop down 1. I'm thinking because BYU and Iowa State played today, it all depends on the West Virginia and Iowa State game. Since I'm filming this on Saturday night, I don't know the outcome of that game yet. So I apologize. Maybe I'll throw a future Justin in here. All right, everybody, it's future Justin. All right, so where does that put the standings at as of Sunday, October the 13th of 2024? Well, that puts BYU at number 1, Iowa State at number 2, Texas Tech at number 3, and Arizona State at number 4, and Kansas State at number 5. Colorado is at number 6. But, so that rounds up the top 6 teams in the Big 12 as of Sunday, October the 13th of 2024. Now back to past Justin. Okay, but BYU is at home next Friday. All right, so it's going to be a short week for BYU. They are at home next Friday at 8:15. Not sure, probably on Fox, against Oklahoma State. Now, that was supposed to be a good game. So in the preseason rankings, of course, they had Utah, which they're sucking, by the way. Cam Rising can't do crap. But yeah, they had Utah first. Then they had Kansas State second. Oklahoma State was third. And Kansas was fourth. And Arizona was fifth. Okay? Iowa State was sixth. All right? And so, oh, yeah, where's Texas Tech? Texas Tech was 9. BYU was 13. And Arizona State was 16. And right now, Arizona is doing pretty good. They've been beating some good teams. All right, so BYU, Texas Tech, and Iowa State are all up there in the top 3. Okay, Oklahoma State has struggled. Okay, they've struggled, and they are currently ranked, as of last week, they are currently ranked number 14 as of last week. They could be a little bit higher this week. All right, so BYU plays at 10:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Central Time, 8:15 Mountain Time, and 7:15 Pacific Time. Okay, so if you're wanting to watch that, it's a home game. You know, you can come and join me at the stadium, or you can watch it on Fox. Okay, I thought it was going to be a better game, but Oklahoma's struggling this year. All right, guys. I know I've rambled on for a long time here, but that is it for the BYU-Arizona game that happened on October the 12th of 2024. BYU 41, Arizona 19. BYU has won 2 day games, and where they've usually lost them in the past couple years. So that is it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button so you will know when I put out another video. All right, guys, and until the next one, I will see you later. And go Cougs. All right, bye.